2 days later, our hero and Wang Chanlang finally dragged themselves to the edge of the secret realm, both looking like they had personally fought gravity the entire way. Our hero calmly noted the obvious truth that the journey only felt like a lifetime because Wang couldn't fly. Wang, meanwhile, was breathing so hard he sounded like he was filing a complaint against the universe. When he pointed forward and said, "We're here," our hero nodded, already focused on the treasure hidden inside Bone Lake. He told Wang to stay behind and not even dream about running, which Wang gladly agreed to, mostly because at that point he could barely feel his legs. As our hero stepped toward the water, ready to dive in like a graceful treasure-hunting dolphin, the universe decided to spice things up. A violent explosion erupted behind him, flames shooting into the sky like fireworks celebrating someone else's misfortune. Our hero turned around slowly, already sensing that trouble had clocked in early today. Near the lakeside, chaos was at full blast. A giant gorilla and a massive crocodile were having a personal war, shaking the ground with every blow. Two terrified fighters were screaming at each other, begging to kill the beast before backup arrived. And of course, backup arrived instantly because life hates peaceful timing. The Ye family's dragon tamer stepped onto the battlefield, and every fighter's confidence melted faster than ice in lava. One ape-form warrior shouted dramatically that he would handle the crocodile while the others blocked the newcomer. Someone desperately tried to convince the gorilla to form a temporary alliance, promising teamwork and friendship. The gorilla's response? Slamming the crocodile again. Teamwork denied. Suddenly, a hooded black mage, Lane Sheng, popped into drama mode, complaining loudly about broken agreements like a man who rehearsed betrayal monologues in the shower. Our hero watched with mild amusement. He recognized two fighters from earlier introductions, but this edgy mage was new. Lane Sheng then activated bone reconstruction, causing every bone scattered around Bone Lake to rise as skeletal soldiers. Even a bird flying by paused like, "Bro really woke up and chose necromancy today." The gorilla growled, confirming everyone's suspicion that the mage had always been shady. But our hero didn't even flinch. In one glance, he figured it out. The mage wasn't summoning ancient beasts, he was recycling corpses like some budget-friendly necromancer. No wonder he kept begging for alliances. Lane Sheng then entertained himself by shouting about his level 100 divine class power, declaring he surpassed summoners, humans, animals, shadows, air, basically anything that existed. Finally, he sent his entire skeletal army rushing toward our hero, dark energy flooding the field dramatically, mostly for show. But our hero? He just smiled. While the whole battlefield panicked, our hero stepped forward with absolute confidence, aura rising like he was about to teach these skeletons why calcium isn't enough to win fights. Instead of fear, he looked excited like someone handed him free entertainment. Power gathered around him, swirling like a storm that refused to be ignored. Lion Sheng staggered backward in total confusion, sweat sliding down beneath his mask as he tried desperately to understand what our hero had just said. His guard had completely collapsed. His hands trembled. His eyes darted around for an escape, but deep down, he already knew there was none. The scene cuts to our hero's calm, razor-sharp eyes. He didn't offer an explanation. He didn't need to. In the very next moment, our hero exploded forward. A shockwave cracked the ground under his feet as he launched himself like a cannon. In the blink of an eye, he closed the distance with overwhelming force. Lion Sheng panicked instantly, screaming as he attempted to run, but his body refused to move. His instincts understood before his mind did he was already dead. Energy burst violently around our hero's body, engulfing him in a brilliant glow. Then, with one decisive blow, his fist pierced straight through Lion Sheng's chest. Blood sprayed out in a red arc as Lion Sheng collapsed. Unable to even scream, his life ended so quickly that even the air didn't have time to catch up. Nearby, every beast froze. The crane stopped mid-breath. The gorilla-like brute stood petrified. Both stared wide-eyed at the impossible display of power. Far away, Wang, resting casually against a tree, opened one eye as if someone had rudely interrupted his nap. The distant tremor made him mutter, "What on earth was that?" On the battlefield, Lion Sheng forced out one last breath. He tried to regain his arrogance, proclaiming that he could form alliances however he wanted, that he would be the final winner. that everyone else would kneel before. He didn't finish. Our hero's second strike blew open his chest again, cutting off his words mid-sentence. Lion Sheng's hand reached out helplessly before his body collapsed completely. A delayed thunderous impact rippled across the area, shattering the frozen ground and sending bones flying across the battlefield. The crane and gorilla stared at the crater, stunned silent. The gorilla muttered in disbelief, unable to understand how someone so confident had just died faster than a game loading screen. Realizing the danger, the crane immediately decided to escape. The gorilla roared angrily when it saw its partner running away. But before the gorilla could chase, a massive underground creature erupted behind it. Dirt and ice blasted into the air. The gorilla roared again, this time not with anger, but pure frustration at its cursed luck. From the distance, our hero watched calmly. So, the crane is trying to run. The crane shot into the sky desperately, but before it could get far, a hooked sickle shot out from our hero's armor like lightning. The weapon sliced through the air, wrapped around the crane's body, and yanked it straight down. Our hero stepped forward with total confidence. His intention was clear, neither beast was escaping today. The crane was ripped out of the sky with a brutal force, screaming in pain as its wings twisted out of control. It smashed into the ground so hard the earth splintered beneath it. The gorilla stopped dead in its tracks, completely frozen from shock. The crane cried out, trapped by the pole, unable to break free. It saw our hero descending from above and panicked completely. It screamed at the gorilla to run, but it was already too late for both. Our hero landed on them with overwhelming impact, shattering the ground beneath their bodies. Dust exploded outward. The battlefield trembled, and just like that, both beasts realized there is no escape from our hero. The battlefield fell silent as the gorilla-type beast let out a desperate scream. Violent energy surged around it, and under our hero's overwhelming pressure, both the gorilla and the crane instantly lost control of their beast transformations. Their bodies trembled violently before collapsing back into their human forms. The moment they landed, Yuan Jinggang fell to the ground clutching his shattered leg, while Lai Qingfeng dropped to his knees, shaking uncontrollably. His voice cracked as he begged for mercy, promising they wouldn't try to escape again. Our hero stood above them with complete calmness, dragging iron chains behind him as if this entire scene was nothing more than light exercise. Without hesitation, he accepted their surrender and stated his conditions clearly. They would hand over their fragments, give up the divine tempering liquid, and from this moment forward, they would fight under his command. Before either man could reply, a loud voice echoed from the distance. Wang Chanlang sprinted toward them, shouting anxiously. He demanded to know what had happened. But the moment he saw Wang Chanlang, his anger exploded. He accused Wang of surrendering too quickly and shaming the Wang family. Wang fired back instantly, furious that the man didn't understand the situation. He revealed the terrifying truth: our hero wasn't just stronger than expected. His power wasn't level 65. It wasn't even close. He might be over level 119. Our hero simply smiled. He released another wave of overwhelming energy, shaking the entire area. The ground cracked beneath his feet. Both defeated men froze, unable to speak, unable to even breathe properly. Their fear was enough to show they understood exactly who now controlled their fate. Lai Qingfeng finally forced himself to speak. With his voice trembling, he promised to hand over the fragments and help our hero win the secret realm, begging him to keep his promise in return. But before our hero could answer, someone shouted in shock. Something massive was rising from Bone Lake. The Bone Lake giant crocodile erupted out of the water with a deafening roar, charging straight at them. But our hero only smirked. He reminded them calmly that he represented the A family and he always kept his word. The crocodile lunged to kill, but our hero intercepted instantly. He grabbed the monster's jaws with a single hand, stopping its attack completely. The ground split beneath the force. Everyone watching froze, completely stunned. They had struggled desperately to survive that monster, and yet our hero had defeated it effortlessly. He brushed off the moment casually, saying he had almost forgotten about the crocodile. Then he asked where the treasure chest guarded by the beast was located. Immediately, Lai Qingfeng bowed deeply and apologized for doubting him. He revealed that the chest was hidden beneath the lake. But before anyone could move, The water level of Bone Lake began to drop rapidly. The entire lake drained downward, revealing the lakebed and exposing something enormous rising from below. Wang Chanlang grew serious, watching silently as the ground trembled. Meanwhile, our hero looked at the two men in front of him. He asked again if they accepted his terms. Both men lowered their heads immediately. They handed over their fragments with complete submission, admitting they would now follow him just as Wang Chanlang did earlier. Our hero nodded. He told them they had chosen correctly. If they had sided with the Ning family instead, they would already be lying at the bottom of the lake like the giant crocodile. As he examined the fragments, he suddenly realized someone was missing. "Where is Wang Chanlang?" Before anyone could respond, the entire area echoed with mocking laughter. Everyone turned toward the lakebed. A voice filled with arrogance shouted loudly, "You really thought I was obedient? You thought I respected you? What a joke." Wang Chanlang emerged from the lowered lake, standing confidently beside a massive treasure chest. Water dripped from his clothes, but his expression was full of triumph. In his hands, he held a giant golden crossbow aimed directly at our hero. The betrayal had begun.